North Korea confirms deployment of troops to Russia for the first time.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính hosts the arrival ceremony for the Prime Minister of Japan and his wife on an official visit to Vietnam.
Colonel Nguyễn Viết Sinh, a soldier's epic journey around the earth.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I'm Hoàng Yến, and here we go, the first headline of the show. Today, North Korea confirmed for the first time that it has deployed troops to Russia to support Russia in the conflict with Ukraine, stating that North Korean forces have helped Russia regain control of the Kursk region.
The Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, reported that the deployment of North Korean troops was carried out under the directive of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, in accordance with the Mutual Defense Treaty between Pyongyang and Moscow. According to KCNA, after determining that the military situation in Russia met the conditions to invoke the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Treaty, the North Korean leader decided to send his armed forces to participate in the conflict and also informed Russia about the matter. Pyongyang emphasized that its military activities in Russia are fully consistent with the United Nations Charter and international law. In response to this information, a spokesperson for the U.S. State Department accused North Korea and other third countries of prolonging the Russia-Ukraine war and holding related responsibilities.
On the morning of April 28 at the Presidential Palace, the Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính just hosted the arrival ceremony for Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Geshigu and his wife, who are on an official visit to Vietnam from April 27 to 29.
Before the ceremony, Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru laid a wreath at the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum and paid tribute to the heroes and martyrs at the Monument to Heroes and Martyrs. This is Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru's first visit to Vietnam since taking office and also the first visit by a Japanese Prime Minister to Vietnam since the two countries upgraded their relationship to Comprehensive Strategic Partnership for Peace and Prosperity in Asia and the World in November 2023. By the end of the fiscal year 2024, Japan has allocated approximately 2.55 trillion yen, equivalent to over 23 billion United States dollars, in ODA for Vietnam. Many projects have become symbols of the bilateral relationship, such as the Nhot Tan Bridge, the T2 terminal of Noi Bai International Airport, and most recently, Metro Line 1 in Ho Chi Minh City. After the arrival ceremony, the two prime ministers moved to the government headquarters for talks. Based on the strong relationship, this official visit to Vietnam by Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru is of great significance. During the visit, in addition to strengthening political trust, the leaders of the two countries will focus on in-depth exchanges on strategic cooperation areas.
During the official visit to Vietnam, this morning, the General Secretary, President of Laos, Thong Leon Sisulit, and a high-ranking delegation from Laos Party and the state just visited and worked with the officers and soldiers of Military Region 4.
In his remarks to the officers and soldiers, General Secretary and President Thong Leon Sisulit acknowledged the achievements in coordination and the dedicated support from the Command of Military Region 4 and its units to the localities and the Lao People's Army in recent years. He expressed the wish for the armed forces of Military Region 4 and the local units of Laos to continue to work closely together to ensure political security in the border areas, facilitating the socio-economic development of these regions, and further strengthening the special friendship between the two parties, states, and armies. Military Region 4 hopes to continue receiving support and assistance from the party, state, government, Ministry of Defense, and the people of Laos in implementing cooperation programs in the area, particularly in supporting teams to search for and collect the remains of Vietnamese volunteer soldiers and experts who remain in Laos, ensuring their return to the homeland.
Upcoming are some updated news.
This week, U.S. President Donald Trump plans to visit Michigan for a rally commemorating his 100 days in office. Since taking office on January 20th, he has implemented comprehensive changes to U.S. domestic and foreign policy. The global economic order has also been disrupted by his tariff policies. The size of the U.S. federal government has been reduced through workforce cuts. A U.S. official interviewed by Reuters indicated that there will be more changes in the coming days, with executive decisions continuing to be issued. Meanwhile, another official revealed that President Trump will focus more on trade agreements and peace negotiations in the next 100 days.
On April 28, the Vietnam Expressway Investment and Development Corporation (VEC) announced a temporary traffic organization plan for the Ben Luc Long Ton Expressway. Starting from 6 p.m. the same day, the sections included are over 21 kilometers from the Ho Chi Minh City Trung Luong Interchange to the Nguyen Van Dao Interchange, and over 7 kilometers from the Phuoc An Interchange to the National Route 51 Interchange. According to VEC, vehicles eligible for road travel will be allowed to use the expressway, except for the following types: low-speed specialized vehicles, four-wheeled motor vehicles carrying people or goods, motorcycles, mopeds, bicycles, and pedestrians.
On April 27, the People's Committee of Dong Nai Province opened the 2025 Hot Air Balloon Festival, the largest of its kind to date. The event runs from April 27 to 30 and features 50 hot air balloons symbolizing 50 years of Southern liberation and national reunification, attracting thousands of tourists and locals. The festival's budget is approximately 14 billion Vietnamese dongs from social contributions. Entrance is free for visitors, who can participate in activities such as experiencing flights at nearly 50 meters, touring the inside of the balloons, and enjoying tethered balloon flights. Starting at 6:30 a.m., thousands of residents from Bien Hoa City and surrounding areas gathered at the festival site to admire the dozens of colorful balloons soaring against the blue sky.
I may not carry a gun, but each step I take while transporting goods brings me closer to the front lines is my way of contributing to my country's fight against the enemy. These heartfelt words come from the Colonel Nguyễn Viết Sinh, a national hero of the armed forces and a legendary reporter on the historic Trường Sơn road. Now let's join us in exploring his journey through the following short documentary.
Colonel Nguyễn Viết Sinh was born in Gian Hoa Commune, Nam Dan District. In 1961, he enlisted and was assigned to Battalion 301, Regiment 70 of the 559th Brigade of the Trong Son Army. The unit's mission was to transport goods, food, medicine, weapons, and military supplies to support the battlefield in the south.
At that time, I was young, and every day I carried 20 to 25 kilograms through the forest, which was very difficult and challenging. The Trong Son forest was harsh in every season.
At that time, with the slogan, 1 kilogram of goods saves one Southern compatriot from bloodshed, 1 bullet is 1 enemy, Colonel Nguyễn Viết Sinh and his comrades overcame all difficulties to transport thousands of shipments using various methods such as carrying on their backs, portering, and transporting by boat. Throughout 4 years along the Trong Son route, Colonel Nguyễn Viết Sinh carried over 55 tons of goods, covering a total distance of 41,025 kilometers. This distance is equivalent to 1 trip around the Earth at the equator.
At that time, I never thought I would cover such a long distance, and I was very surprised to be recognized as a champion porter.
With these achievements, on January 1, 1967, Colonel Nguyễn Viết Sinh was honored by President Ho Chi Minh with the title of Hero of the People's Armed Forces. In 2012, the Vietnam Record Book Center recognized him for holding the record as the Trong Son liaison soldier who carried the most goods and led troops over the longest distance.
The last story to end our program today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye and see you later.